Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to week 4, episode 12. Week 4, episode 12 of the Read With Me series, The Joy of Marriage God's Way. It's the joy of marriage God's way. So we're going to be intentional. We're going to be consistent. We'll keep going at it, studying, reading to get knowledge, to get the right knowledge. We'll keep at it. We'll keep moving, and we gain it. We gain the knowledge. There was something I heard recently. It says that if it doesn't enter your mind, it cannot enter your life. If it does not enter your mind, it cannot enter your life. So whatever we want to create, when we start filling our minds with the, what we want to see, before you know it, when we begin to digest it, before we know it, we begin to, little by little, put it into action, because in a way, as when we are reading, we are changing our mindset, we are changing our mindset. So, good morning, happy new week, everybody. I am Sukri. Good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me there? Good morning. So thank you so much for joining this morning. So we are on the series, The Joy of Marriage God's Way. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, put a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. So, last week, okay, good. Thank you so much. So last week, on Friday we had the Q&A session, the live Q&A session last week. So, and I didn't continue the book last week. And the Q&A session was quite interesting, to be honest. So this week we'll be going right into it, going to actually read, and as I said before you joined it, I said, if it doesn't enter your mind, it cannot enter your life. If it doesn't enter your mind, it cannot enter your life. So we begin to create, what we want to see in our life, but the things that we feed our minds. So for the past 2 episodes, the 2 sessions that we did on life, we're talking about the woman's role for sex in marriage. That was what we're talking about there. And we started on, that the woman should try to enjoy sex, and I'll just keep reading. It says, the woman's role for sex in marriage is to know herself sexually, and to share herself with her husband. In order to do this, she must be able to enjoy sex, listen to her body, lead by invitation, and heal from past and present hurts. Now, as I'm reading this, if you have any questions, please put it you can use the Q&A box, put in your question in the Q&A box if you don't want to put the comments on live, and also drop your comment or even send me a DM if we have any questions. Then we can do that before the end of the podcast or on the live Q&A. So it says that, what are some of the ways we can enhance our ability to enjoy sex? Number 1, it says, discard unrealistic expectations. Discard unrealistic expectations. Even for single people, or probably, because to be honest, the reality is that it's not all of the single people that are actually not sexually active. A lot of single people, good morning, thank you for joining. A lot of single people are actually sexually active, but that is actually not the will of God and the plan of God, for us, to be sexually active when we are single. That is actually not the plan of God. So, but here, as singles, let's just say ideally, we have some expectations that we feel like in marriage, these are my expectations, or if I get into a relationship, these are my sexual expectations, but you make sure that your expectations are actually realistic. It says that discard unrealistic expectations. It says, good morning, Regina. It says, sex is not going to be what you see in the media or read in romance novels. I don't know how many people read romance novels, in those days they used to say meals and bones and all that, or read in romance novels. Instead, look to real people in your life who will share what has brought them fulfillment. Okay, so in other words, begin to debunk a whole lot of unrealistic things in our minds. First, last week also I also said that they said sex is not only body, it's body, mind, and spirit. Sex is body, mind, and spirit. So it says, instead, look to real people in your life who will share what has brought them fulfillment. It says, become knowledgeable about how the body and how you work sexually. So as single people or whatever, get to know who you are, get to know how your body works. And the second point here is learn to receive compliments. This is in the context of marriage now, okay? Learn to, and it says what are some of the ways, before you join, it says what are some of the ways that we can enhance our ability to enjoy sex. That's the topic here. And then the second one says learn to receive compliments, bodily pleasure, and sexual stimulation. This is in context of marriage. I emphasize that. So the capacity in which each of you can do this depends on how you feel about yourself. What is your rhythm? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about who you are? Do you think you're beautiful? Do you think you're handsome? Do you think your body is good? That kind of way. Like, how do you feel about yourself? So women who have a poor self-image have difficulty accepting pleasure in general, and consequently they have a harder time enjoying sex. The third point here says accept your body. A lot of times women too struggle with their body, the body. Accept your body. If you don't, it's very difficult for you to share your body with your husband. So accept your body, whatever way it is. Accept it. It might not be where you want it to be, but accept it. And then you can always work towards probably you want to be more, whatever way you want, you can always move in that direction, do some, change your eating habits or whatever, but accept that. Accept your body. It says to increase your comfort with your appearance, eliminate unrealistic ideals. Okay, I have a question there. Eliminate, let me see. Okay. It says that this should be for the question is that this should be for married people. I think basically it's not practical for singles. So I think is it okay to listen? Yes, it is okay to listen. I think the thing is you can't say that it's for married people, but at the same time, before we get into marriage, you must get the knowledge that we need. So even when you're talking about accepting your body or whatever, do you get what I mean? It's not until you get married that you accept your body. So you might be watching this and you feel like, oh, maybe this session of this place doesn't apply to me because I'm single. I'm still single. No, but no knowledge is wasted. So bank everything. Do you get what I mean? Bank everything. As the title said, that says the joy of marriage God's way. So like having that knowledge, is like you're just putting it in the bank. You're banking it, and also work with the info that you can work on now. In your preparation for where you are going. So accepting your body now, for example, if you're saying it's not applicable to you, it's only for married people. No, you have to accept your body even as a single person. You have to accept your body. You have to accept who you are. Do you get what I mean? So all of the knowledge, sift through it. Look at the ones that you can apply, as a single, and then when you're in a thriving relationship and in a marriage, then these things that you can do. So no knowledge is wasted, So it's also good to listen, I've answered the question. Yeah? Okay. So it says here that I just read on. There's nothing wrong with setting a standard for yourself. There's nothing wrong in setting a standard for yourself. It may require a variety of disciplines, like exercising, watching what you eat. So our body, matters also. When we're talking about sex or whatever, our body matters because obviously it's body. A major part of sex is also with body, definitely body. So, it says watching what you eat, going for occasional pedicures. This is for ladies. Going for occasional pedicures or having your hair professionally maintained. Hygiene. Hygiene. And I will say this even for both parties. So get it right now when you're even single. And even in marriage, hygiene. Our hair, is it clean? Whatever it is, just be clean. You smell nice. These are things. Smell nice. Work on your okay. Wash your clothes. Don't wear clean clothes. You understand what I'm saying? The basic things. And you'll be shocked that single people, you'll be shocked with the way these things affect people in marriage. So you need to get it right, even as singles. You need to get it right, even as singles, before you now get into marriage. Because these basic things, if you leave it for granted, because once people leave their parents' home, they just feel like, I don't care. I don't have to bathe every day. I don't have to. No. These are important things. Your hygiene, you bath every day. Your hygiene is very, very important. Smell good, smell nice, everything like that. Your hygiene is very important. It says the way in which you care for yourself has a great impact on how you feel about yourself. The way you care for yourself has a great impact on how you feel about yourself. Then the fourth point says, allow intimacy with your husband. Allow intimacy with your husband. Intimacy suggests vulnerability. Intimacy suggests vulnerability. To be loved for who you are requires total openness with your husband, particularly when you come together sexually. Some women have difficulty with this type of emotional and physical closeness because they fear they will lose their sense of individuality. A fear of intimacy is usually related to a fear of abandonment. Maybe you struggle with such issues from your childhood. You see, this is why it's important to get this knowledge. You can see what they are saying here. It says, a fear of intimacy is usually related to a fear of abandonment. When circumstances fear of abandonment. Maybe you struggle with such issues from your childhood. When circumstances prevented your parents from being there when you needed them. Intimacy is an attachment, a connection with another person. It's not based on infatuation or attraction. Intimacy becomes more apparent when the newness of a relationship evolves into a deep attachment that will carry you through the life of your marriage. Interesting points there. Points to ponder on. The fifth one says, enjoy newness. Enjoy newness. A certain sense of freedom is also important for you to take pleasure in a sexual relationship. Be flexible. Be willing to experiment and try new things. Newness creates excitement, and flexibility fosters freedom. Give yourself permission to experiment in touching your mate, as well as in allowing him to explore your body. This is in the context of marriage. The sixth point says, affirm your sexuality. Affirm your sexuality. You are a sexual being. Whether we are single or we're married, we are a sexual being. You were designed this way by God. Within 5 to 10 minutes after birth, a little boy has his first sexual response in terms of arousal. Wow. Baby girls lubricate vaginally within 24 hours after birth. And those responses continue automatically and involuntarily throughout life. Just as your body digests food, your heart beats, and your lungs breathe, your sexuality is automatic. Your sexuality is automatic. Your body was created to both receive and transmit sexual stimulation. So if women think of themselves as the receptacles of their husband's sexual aggression, they are rejecting God's intention for them. You were made to both receive and to transmit sexual pleasure. So it's perfectly normal. Okay? Perfectly normal. So we need to be talking about all these things. Not about, okay, so until when I get married or whatever. You get? And even for our children, educate them. educate them about, having the right discussion about knowing their body parts, sexual, because we are all sexual beings. By the way, did you know that women who enjoy sex can also say no? We can't really say yes to sex unless we can also say no. In that way, our sexual relationship is similar to our relationship with God. Christ sacrificed himself for us and asked only that we accept him as our Lord and Savior. But he never forces himself on us. We have the freedom of choice, and that has to be true in the sexual relationship. Okay? That has to be true in a sexual relationship between you and your husband. To freely give yourself sexually, you must be free to make a choice. Free to make a choice. Then the seventh point says, learn to let go. Learn to let go. This is for especially women. It says, women who enjoy sex learn to become caught up in the moment, to experience the freedom of being out of control, and to delight in the ecstasy of an orgasm. It says, in order to do this, you may need help to release anything in your relationship with your husband that might hinder intimacy. Such an unresolved issues or unforgiveness, can hinder intimacy, because as women, we are very emotional. We put everything together. If you're not really, in tune with somebody, you cannot really, be joined to them intimately like that, because it affects every area of our lives. So to enjoy sex and experience a passionate marriage, a woman needs to believe she is worthy of her husband's attention, and that she has the right to be intensely sexual. She has to be able to affirm her sexuality, her husband's sexuality, her husband's delight in her sexuality, and her enjoyment of his sexuality. If you have any questions, put it in the Q&A box. Okay. Sex has to be good for her as it is for him. It is if it's going to be fulfilling for the lifetime of a marriage. The best gift a woman can give herself and her husband is a deep and real joy in their sexual times together. Then the other point says, listen to your body. Listen to your body. To fulfill your role for sex in marriage, you need not only enjoy sex, but also learn to listen to your body. Good sex doesn't just happen, but we can make it happen by listening to our bodies. Pay attention to your body during your daily activities. Take note of momentary desires that come and go throughout the day. Listen during sex when you and your husband are pleasuring each other. In marriage, what feels good? What kind of touch do you like? Now, this question, this part, I think during the Q&A session last week, we had a question about sex, about when one partner was not sexually active before marriage, and then they go into marriage. I think they were not having issues or something like that. This can also help such people in a marriage. When it says listen during sex, it says when you and your husband are pleasuring each other, it says what feels good, what kind of touch do you like? So this, like, with the right knowledge and the patience, they'll be able to satisfy each other. You just learn, you be patient with one another, satisfy each other sexually in marriage. Okay, it says what kind of touch do you like? How do you like to be kissed? Take it in and absorb it. Enjoy those sensations of being touched, and listen to what your body is saying. Both partners win when the woman listens to her body, when the woman listens to her body and seeks what she needs, while the man listens and responds to her desires. So they can walk through all of this, even in marriage, irrespective of, whatever their sexual background is while they were single. Then it says, lead by invitation. Lead by invitation. Once you've learned to listen to your body and enjoy sex, you will be able to lead by invitation. The model from the Song of Solomon, as well as other instructions throughout scripture, demonstrates that the husband adores while his wife invites. The husband adores while his wife invites. Interesting. This scenario works because a woman's expression of her sexuality usually appeals to a man, whereas as Whereas a man's expression of connection and affirmation usually appeals to a woman. So for you to lead with your sexuality, you have to know your body and share your awareness with your husband. With his help, you can discover what brings you pleasure. You have to attend to and take responsibility for the hormonal fluctuations that affect you during the month. Yes, women, we do have hormonal fluctuations. I mean, reading all of this is so good. Like, it's so, like, we don't get to hear this. I don't know if we talk about this enough. Even people, I don't even know, sometimes even parents don't even have these discussions with their children, or like, or with their young adult or whatever, talking about all of these things. But it's so important to have this kind of knowledge. It says that with his help, you can discover what brings you pleasure. You have to attend to and take responsibility for the hormonal fluctuations that affect you during the month and throughout the different stages of life. For example, early marriage is different than 5 years down the road with kids because things have changed. Pregnancy is a change that affects your hormones. As you move into menopause, your body changes again. So being attentive to what your body needs today and to its changes is key to being able to lead with your sexuality and communicate what brings you pleasure. The belief that if he loved me, he would really know doesn't work. It's like an itch on our back. If we ask him to scratch it for us, we have to explain where it is, or he won't know. You're not a mind reader. A lot of times women feel like they should know. Men should know, whatever. But it's not, it doesn't know. We have to be able to be patient with one another and actually express ourselves, guide one another on how we want to be loved or pleased. So, and it now says that's also true about our body awareness. Okay, I have another question here. It says, okay. In all honesty, I think this is too deep for singles. Okay, it's too deep. It's too deep for singles. All right. So what do you want me to do? We are reading the book, so and I need to go ahead to actually read, the content of the book. But if you feel like it's too deep for singles. It's like singles cannot understand it because it's not their reality yet. Well, I don't know. But I'm just going to keep reading. It says that that's also true about our body awareness and sexual desires. So sex will never be great if you expect him to automatically know how, where, and when you want to be touched. But the knowledge is important because this is the reality of what happens in marriage. So it just gives you, opens you up to what happens in marriage, you see. And you see, they say that when you are 1 year married, it's different from when you are 5. Yeah, okay. When you are 1 year marriage, it's different from when you are 5 years in. So this is more like, an expose of what the reality is. All the butterflies in my belly. Okay, back. All the butterflies in my belly, all the other things are going to subside after years of, maybe kids are involved now. Kids are there now. You're so busy. You're stressed out and everything. This is the realities that people don't talk about. People don't talk about these things before getting married. They don't think about it. They just feel like, I'm just going to be in the honeymoon stage forever. No. So, but it's good to be armed with information. And it says that, that's also true about our body awareness and sexual desires. It says sex will never be great if you expect him. This is talking to the woman now. If you expect him to automatically know how, where, and when you want to be touched. It says to lead, you must also know and communicate your conditions for good sex. What makes sex good for you? Do you need to be rested? Do you need to feel a special connection between the two of you? What moments have brought you the most joy? In fact, share all of this to people that you know that are married because they would need it. Share it, send a link to them, share it. Those that are really, really in marriage, share it. So, do you need to feel a special connection between the two of you? What moments have brought you the most joy? What were the conditions that contributed to the uniqueness of those experiences? Communicating those conditions will not only make sex better for you, but also for your husband. Your husband can't know and meet your complex. Your husband can't know and meet your complex and diverse sexual needs unless you guide him. The truth is that sexually, we are more complex than men. This is for women now. In both our sexual organs and our bodily responses, fluctuations occur due to our hormonal changes. Our bodily responses are physically more complex, and sexually we function on two tracks. And this is where we'll give you exposure to even understand women. Women are very complex. We are very, very complex beings. So if you're a man here, you're watching this, women, are very complex. And sexually, we function in two tracks. It says the emotional and the physical. The emotional and the physical. These two must be in sync in order for the women to open up sexually. The good news is in all of this is that the woman's complex and ever-changing femininity combined with the husband's predictability can be used to keep sex alive in marriage over a lifetime. So that is good news right there. So let me see. I have about 4 minutes. Okay, let me go to the next one. The other one says, heal from past or present hurts. Heal from past or present hurts. However, to enjoy sex, listen to your body, and lead by invitation, you must first heal from your past or present abuse. You must first heal from your past or present abuse. If you were sexually or physically abused as a child, experienced trauma as an adolescent or young adult, or were raised in an alcoholic home, or are in an abusive relationship now, it is imperative that you take the time to heal those wounds. You see, you may need a Christian counselor, a recovery group, a mentor, a good friend who will come alongside you and walk you through those resurfaced hurts in order to move beyond them. The reality is, healing will take time and work. So this is, you see all of this thing that is coming out here. If somebody now says that someone that needs to heal from past hurt, if they say that okay, they don't have that information now, and they feel like they want to get into marriage before they want to start healing any hurt or wound, that will be too late, isn't it? That will make things more difficult. So it's important for us to get the right knowledge and know that, what I need to work on now before I get in there, what I need to work on now, you start working on it now. And it says that the reality is that healing will take time and work. Healing will take time and work. So this I'll be rounding off this session today. That is, I had to read that, even though it was single people that joined in on the live stream, married people too can watch the replay, and actually watch this and see how they can apply that. There are really, really good nuggets, especially even for the women, good nuggets on how to be able to prepare ourselves to enjoy sex in marriage, and even for the man to lead with invitation and other kind of stuff like that, to bring us into the right knowledge on how to have a fulfilling time in like sexual fulfillment in marriage. That's what it's all about. So I'll be rounding today's session. Thank you so much for joining. I am Sukwe, and I saw Regina before, and I think somebody else joined, but I don't know who the person was. So we'll keep at it. We'll keep learning and getting all the nuggets. Sometimes you might feel like, it's too deep, or sometimes you might feel like, okay, what type of way, but keep at it. And as I said before at the beginning of the broadcast, if it doesn't enter your mind, it cannot enter your life. So we must, if we want whatever we want to create, we must get the right knowledge in order for us to be able to apply it the right way. So thank you so much for joining today. Don't forget to live every moment, live every moment, laugh every day, and love beyond words. Okay, so I remain Abiola, and thank you so much for joining. I will see you tomorrow again at 11 a.m. GMT by God's grace. So enjoy your day, have a lovely week, and Love you all. Bye. Bye.